Yo, what's the word, chat? It's Mixed by Bam. Today, I'm coming with my first video ever on the channel at Mixed by Bam. You already know it's the vibes, man. On this channel, we're going to be doing mixing tips, mastering tips, techniques, advice, tutorials, plugin reviews, mix reviews, master reviews. We're going to be going over professional sessions and things of that nature. And I'm basically just going to be here to help educate and to help those who want to learn and to also connect to my viewers and hopefully build something out of this channel. I don't expect to make money or to be monetized off of this. I just want to do it out of the love of the game and because I want to help people and yeah, shit like that. So today we're going to be doing a plugin review for my first ever video. We're going to be reviewing the SSL Fusion Violet EQ. SSL is solid state logic. For those who don't know, it is an audio company very renowned for the consoles that they make, such as the SSL E series and G series. You've probably heard of these consoles on your favorite songs, a lot of songs. And yeah, it's a very big company, very good company. They make very good plugins. This specific plugin is based on the SSL Fusion, which is a real life piece of hardware, which is this big, nice strip that you could fit into a hardware rack. And it has a lot of nice features on it, like an EQ and compressor and things of that nature. Very good for bus processing and things of that nature. So yeah, this is what the plugin looks like. So we have input trim, we have an output trim, we have a high boost, and then our high frequency selector, and then we have a low frequency selector and a low boost. So I already have a little bit of boost on there by accident, so that's my bad, yeah. And then we also have a high pass filter to cut out some high pass. Then we also have this fat button. So basically what this fat button does is when you enable this high pass filter with the fat button enabled, the fat button is going to make it so whichever frequency you select between 30 hertz, 40 hertz, and 50 hertz when cutting with the high pass filter, the fat knob is basically going to boost that frequency at the same time of you cutting it. So for example, if I were to take this and then I bring it to 30 hertz and then I have the fat knob off, it's just gonna cut 30 hertz and that's it. But if I were to have the fat knob on, it would still be cutting 30 hertz, but it would also be boosting a slight amount of 30 into the signal at the same time. So that's basically what a fat knob is doing. It's just giving you a little extra oomph into the frequency that you're cutting so that you're not necessarily losing the actual weight, but still cleaning up the sound at the same time, which is a good way to get clean low end. And I think it's definitely a nice feature that they added. We also have a whole bunch of presets. If you click this, as you can see, we have some presets, producer presets, mix bus presets, vocal lift, things of that nature. So definitely some good starting presets that you can use if you don't know where to start with the plugin. You can always throw in a preset built in from Solid State Logic and get a better head start on the sound that you're looking for. We also have this button right here. If I press it, you can see it goes white. This is basically the eco button. So with this SSL EQ plugin specifically, it has built-in oversampling, which is going to help with the aliasing and the phase shift of this plugin when you're using the EQ, which is what the oversampling in the EQ is helping to attenuate for. But when you press this eco button, which is this little button right here, when this is turned on, the oversampling is turned off, which is going to bring a little more phase issues in anti-aliasing, but with the oversampling off, you're going to get more help. You're going to get more delay. You're going to get less delay. And basically, it will help you if you're in a recording live session or something like that. So today we're going to be using this plugin and showing it on this little beat that I made. So yeah, that's what we're going to be using this plugin on. So let's just start with the melody. So let's just take a listen to the melody. Okay, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Now we're gonna take this plugin and we're just gonna see if just turning the plugin on adds any type of color or saturation, since it's based on analog hardware, and a lot of these plugins do emulations trying to model the circuitry of real analog hardware. So let's just see if it does that by turning the plugin on and off on this signal, and let's just see how it sounds. So this is with it off. And now I'm going to bring it in 3, 2, 1. All right, now I don't know if you guys could necessarily hear anything, but it's more so of a feeling, I feel like, to my ear at least. I could kind of just feel the signal was a little smoother, like barely, just a little bit extra smoothness, I say, added to the signal. But that's what we have so far just from enabling the plugin. Now let's check out this high pass. And we're just gonna go straight for the 50 hertz cut. So yeah, that's what the cut does. So now I'm gonna bring it back, and now that we have this cut enabled, we're gonna play with just the cut, and then I'm gonna press the fat button, and we're gonna see what the fat button is doing with the cut. All right, now I'm going to press the fat button and add it and see what it sounds like. If you're watching this video, I suggest you use headphones or speakers so you can really hear what's going on. Phone speakers are not really the best, but yeah. So yeah, that's basically what we have. Now, let's use this and see what the cuts sound like with the actual bands. So I'm just gonna bring that back and let's try with a little cut. So let's go to 90 hertz, and I'm just gonna bring this down and then off. So we're removing 9 dB at 90 hertz using this EQ. Another thing to keep in mind about this EQ is it is a shelving EQ. So both of these are automatically shelf EQs. It's not a bell, just in case anybody's wondering. Also, the high pass filter is an 18 dB slope. So you're cutting using an 18 dB slope when you're using this specific high pass on this plugin, which is just something to keep in mind whenever you're using it for whatever situation. So let's just play the melody without the plugin active, and then we're gonna play it with the cut. All right, now we're going to enable it, and this is what it sounds like. All right, now we're going to add output trim, and we're going to add gain through the output trim so that we can match the level and hear what it's really doing. Because even though we're cutting, we're still losing overall volume through the entire sound. So yes, we're still hearing the cut, but we're not hearing what it's fully doing to the signal if it was to be in context. So let's listen to that. So yeah, that's what the cut is doing. That's what it sounds like in the full context and when the levels are matched. I think it sounds pretty smooth. I like the way that the cut sounds. Let's try it on the drums next. So we're just gonna bring this back to 0 and we're just gonna set this back to 30 and everything here is good. Let me just bring the output back to 0 and I'm gonna close this and okay, we're gonna check out just the drums now. And we're gonna see what the boosts of this EQ sound like on the drums. So this is our drum sample. All right, so let's choose a high end first and see what the high end boost sounds like. So we have 8 kilohertz, 12 kilohertz, 16 kilohertz, and 20 kilohertz to choose from. So I'm gonna choose 12 kilohertz and I'm just gonna boost it all the way to 9. And now I'm just gonna play it without the EQ active first and then with the high boost active. Okay, now with the high boost active. Now, I must say that high end sounds very, very, very smooth. Doesn't sound harsh at all. It sounds very smooth. It sounds very clean. It has a very nice shine to it. I feel like it makes it shine and just sounds way more clear and has way more clarity within the drums, but it's not harsh at the same time. I feel like with a lot of EQs, you can overdo the high end very, very easily, especially when you're boosting 9 dB like I am to over exaggerate. But honestly, with the full 9 dB, this sounds pretty good. So I'm just gonna bring the output back and gain match it now and see what it sounds like. So yeah, honestly, that sounds really, really clean, really, really smooth, and I like it. Next, let's try the low bands. So I'm gonna bring this back down and we're going to try, let's try 70 hertz and boost it. And now without it. And now with it. So yeah, that's what it sounds like. Sounds pretty good. Now let's try using this to cut the whole mix. We're gonna use it and cut with the whole entire beat. So I'm just gonna bypass both of these and bring this back. All right, so I'm just gonna go back to the start and I'm gonna boost 12K again and I'm gonna boost 70 hertz again. I'm gonna boost both of them so you can hear it, and then we're gonna cut it as we're bringing it down. All right, sounds pretty good. Now we're gonna try with everything active. So let's just set this back. So we're gonna keep the 70 boost, and this time let's boost 16 kilohertz. Let me bring the output back. Okay, and I'm gonna bring the cut to 40 hertz, and then I'm gonna add the fat, and then I'm gonna boost 4 dB of the low end. I'm gonna boost 7 dB of the high end. Now let's hear what this sounds like. Without it first. Now we're gonna try it with it. Now let's just bring the gain back. So yeah, that is the SSL Fusion Violet EQ. Honestly, this plugin is very, very nice. I think that is very smooth. I think that is very easy to use. And in my personal opinion, I'd probably use it for mix bus, drum bus, separate drums, and to add high end to vocals. I definitely use this on vocals. I feel like this would sound very, very nice on vocals with these high bands. And I think it could be very, very nice and smooth without getting harsh, dead vocals, if you know what I mean. So overall, I'm gonna rate the plugin a 7 out of 10. I feel like for an analog emulation of a plugin, like supposing to emulate that real Fusion, I feel like this plugin could have a little more color to it. I know there's a couple plugins by SSL that have better emulations, like in terms of the color and saturation that analog can add to a sound. I feel like this specific plugin didn't really add like much at all, if any. Like I could definitely feel just running signal through this that it feels tiny, tiny bit smoother, but it's not really a difference that's just like, wow, like this sounds like different, like just off the jump. Like it doesn't really do that for me personally. I feel like, for example, like the SSL console plugins, like if you use those, they'd add tone that you could definitely hear just from enabling on and off, and using some of the line to drive the console into your signal. But I don't know, I feel like this one doesn't really do it like that. Like if you push the input in, you could probably get a slight amount of distortion, slight amount of harmonics added, but I don't really know if it's doing that with this plugin or not. I'd have to check that at a later time, maybe for another video if y'all wanted to see it. But yeah, this is a very, very nice plugin, and is definitely something I would use on a full song or a full session whenever I'm recording any of my clients or myself. And yeah, that's basically the SSL Fusion Violet EQ plugin. If you guys enjoyed the video, please subscribe, like, turn the notifications on, comment, and share this video with your friends, anybody that makes audio, whoever you know. Any support is greatly appreciated. Again, like I said earlier, I'm not doing this for money or anything. But yeah, thank you for watching the video. Have a great day.